We are FRC team number 3928, Team Neutrino from Story County, Iowa. 3928 was founded in 2011 by 9 Ames High School students. Since then, the team has grown to include students from all across Story County. In less than a decade, Team Neutrino has catalyzed change in our community, fostering the local first community and spreading STEM wherever we go. In our 10 years as a team, we've come to understand that outreach is a journey of growth, both within your community and within your team. The biggest lesson we've learned is that outreach thrives best when you're passionate about it. Finding your team's strength will help you connect with your community, even during a global pandemic. We'd like to take you through our outreach journey in hopes that you will find your own.
Outreach is about more than robot demos and popsicles. It's about bonding with your community and furthering the mission of FIRST as you share STEM with more people. Maintaining a positive outreach culture is key to keeping our team passionate and excited about outreach. Outreach culture is your team's attitude towards working with the community through outreach events. It's different on every team and directly influences how you approach outreach. Team Neutrino's outreach culture is defined by our love for bringing STEAM to kids, our belief that outreach is a full team effort, and our dedication to our community. Having a positive attitude towards outreach that is integrated into your team culture will help team members maintain a passion for outreach, inspiring them to continue to grow their programs.
One way of growing your outreach program is by finding annual events in your community. These can create opportunities for future years and build sustainability into your outreach program. For example, Team Neutrino has volunteered at the Ames FLL Scrimmage since 2011, the Science Center of Iowa since 2012, and in our local 4th of July parade since 2013. Since we started volunteering with these events, we've returned every year, creating sustainable opportunities for community impact. Doing annual outreach events builds recognition in your community. By returning every year, your team builds relationships with event coordinators and community members. These relationships are key to constructing new outreach connections and opportunities. Through Team Neutrino's involvement with the Ames Public Library, we've established a partnership that allows us to start new outreach events with their aid. Creating connections is a fantastic way for your team to begin to expand its outreach initiatives.
Beyond making early connections, we started other practices to keep our outreach organized and functional. Documentation is vital. It proves your team has put in the time and effort for a successful outreach project, keeps a record for you to look back and improve upon, and is a requirement for many awards. Keeping up-to-date documentation from the beginning of your outreach is the best way to keep accurate and comprehensive records of your impact. The judges for the FRC Chairman's Award have released a documentation form that teams are required to fill out to qualify for the award. In it, you must list the type of event run, your involvement, the number of people reached, and documentation of the event in the form of an email or thank you letter. Overall, documentation is good for both personal records and continuous improvement. Another practice we started was creating an outreach tote that the team takes to every event where we have a booth. Our outreach tote provides all the things we need when interacting with the community, such as handouts, business cards, items for demonstration with kids, documentation, and more. This makes it easy to pack before an outreach event and keeps setup and cleanup of the event efficient.
As you grow familiar with outreach, you find ways to become more involved in your existing efforts. After assisting with classes at the Super Summer Camp in Ames for 3 years, Team Neutrino began running classes in 2015. Now, we've gone one step further and developed our own curriculum for 7 classes centered around LEGO Mindstorms and Makerspace activities. Similarly, Team Neutrino has been demoing at the Science Center of Iowa for years, but this past year we saw their need for volunteers at their mini maker fair. We partnered with them to create a customized volunteer schedule to suit their needs and brought 22 team members to volunteer at the event. Taking leadership roles in existing outreach is a great way to get a sense of how projects and events run and makes good practice for starting your own projects.
The key to creating successful new outreach events is by pinpointing your team's passions and expanding upon them. Each team has different strengths, values, and connections, so their outreach initiatives will look a little different. Some teams specialize in digital outreach, other teams start new FIRST teams, and some will be doing general community service projects. Team Neutrino found that our passion lies in introducing STEM to kids and creating videos and online media. Therefore, we focus our outreach on initiatives that work with kids, such as mentoring FLL teams or running STEM classes at summer camps. Starting initiatives in areas we're passionate about helps make the team more excited to do outreach and more motivated to create the best experience for our audience. Finding your team's passion will also help make the best impact on your community. Evaluating your team's strengths doesn't have to happen in one day though. It took our team plenty of years and meetings between the full team, student leaders, and mentors to figure out which form of initiatives we wanted to pursue. Also, your team's passions will shift as more team members come and go. So remember, be flexible and be patient.
During this pandemic, Team Neutrino has made many efforts to continue our community impact digitally to parents and kids staying at home. One of these efforts, Stay at Home STEAM, was a series of educational videos designed to continue to spread STEM education, passion, and opportunities to kids out of school. We developed Stay at Home STEAM to continue reaching out during the pandemic by introducing kids to STEM through entertaining and educational content. Team Neutrino spent months brainstorming, writing, producing, and sharing nearly 2 hours of free educational activities for families. By the end of 8 weeks, we had released a total of 27 in-depth STEAM tutorials for kids. We began this effort with a real desire to continue to teach STEM to our community despite our usual outreach being canceled. Our team recognized that there was a real need in our community for continued learning during this pandemic, and so we discussed as a team how we could provide this in a viable and safe way, and held virtual meetings to have brainstorming sessions. From coming up with the original project concept to scheduling the project, Stay at Home STEAM took months of collaboration. Project leadership scheduled each episode with an individual team member and walked them through the production process. For Stay at Home STEAM to work, each member had to do their part. From editing to promotion among schools, members collaborated from home to write, film, edit, and promote the series. We published every episode on a regular schedule to establish a following on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We promoted each episode to our following on social media and connected with a larger audience in addition to local community. We promoted the series among local schools, youth groups, and organizations, and even were published in a local magazine. The series became a staple of our digital outreach and an idea and concept that we plan to improve upon for future projects. Through a team-wide effort, we embraced our individual skill sets and provided valuable resources and media for families during uncertain times.
Stay at Home STEAM was only one of our digital efforts to continue our outreach program. We also worked with other FRC teams to host a series of virtual chairman's exchanges. Through these digital events, we engaged with other teams and shared our chairman's presentations for valuable feedback and discussion. The event provided a safe way to connect, provide insights into each other's chairman's efforts, and keep engaged with the FIRST community. We have plans to continue this effort by hosting a virtual branding exchange to collaborate with other FRC teams' visual design efforts. We will also be hosting our annual Iowa FLL Unconference in August this summer in a virtual format. Instead of planned presentations, we provide a day of open discussions where attendees share experiences and learn about everything from core values to judging practices. Our event allows coaches and mentors to ask questions, learn from and with each other, discuss every aspect of FLL, and unite the FLL community within our area. While FLL is looking uncertain this year, we're excited to still provide this opportunity for both new and experienced FLL teams to collaborate virtually. All of our initiatives came about through outreach discussions or by reflecting on our existing outreach and what we could do to continue with it online. The pandemic may have restricted opportunities for in-person events, but you can find just as many opportunities online with a little creativity. Evaluate your current outreach to see if there are methods of transferring it online. Research what other teams are doing and draw inspiration from them. But don't feel the need to do strictly online outreach. Find other ways of assisting your community safely, perhaps through creating PPE, organizing socially distanced supply drives, or other forms of community care. When you find what works for your team, stick with it.
No, knock down the blue one. Yes, knock down the green one.
Most importantly, outreach is a journey that your team will continue upon. Never become complacent with your outreach efforts. It's easy to look at what you have and think, that's good enough. But remember, there is always room for improvement. Expanding your outreach means that you get to inspire that many more lives. So, continue on improving older events, making new connections, and getting inspiration from other teams. Constantly reevaluate your team's strengths and outreach systems. As the members of your team grow and change, it's important to continue to emphasize outreach as a part of the team's culture. Above all, keep in mind the reason that we do outreach. With every outreach event we go to, every team we mentor, and every kid we teach, we're building a generation of future innovators. We know that the more students we can inspire through FIRST, the more they will be encouraged to succeed in STEM and make the world what they dream it to be.